Good morning to you, Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for Monday, the 26th of August, 2013. We'll start things off taking a look at the Western Atlantic Visible Satellite Loop, and you should be able to clearly see what is now Tropical Depression Fernan over Mexico at the moment, bringing some heavy rainfall to this area. I think it's quite interesting that the tropical wave that started this came over 2,500 miles and was able to finally develop once it got into the Bay of Campeche. You know, if not for the Yucatan Peninsula right here in the way, then that tropical wave would have developed earlier, and it would have definitely been a hurricane as it approached the Mexican coastline. It was well on its way to doing so last night. It just ran out of room. It looked like it was even developing an eye feature on radar imagery that was coming out of that area. The parent tropical wave that spawned that system, the lower end of it, the southern end of it, trying to develop something in the eastern Pacific, which should parallel Mexico over the next several days and slowly develop. Elsewhere, a little bit of tropical wave energy coming in through the Caribbean, some rotation down here, but this will just go on into the Pacific. I see a quiet pattern ahead for the western part of the Atlantic Basin. Looking out west, though, this is interesting. The leftovers of Tropical Storm Ivo, or Evo, however you say it, the moisture from that being pulled up into the western U.S. with some pretty heavy rainfall concentrated in parts of Southern California, Nevada, northwest Arizona, into portions of southern Utah. We can see here on the National Weather Service hazards map different watches and warnings that are indicated. All that green is flash flood or flooding advisories or watches, etc., and it covers a large area of real estate out there in the southwest U.S. Looking at a radar shot, you can see here lots of rainfall in areas that really aren't used to this much tropical rain during the summer months. Areas from 29 Palms all the way across the I-40 corridor here, even I-15 going through Las Vegas and out of Las Vegas up towards Mesquite and Cedar City into Utah. This whole area could experience some pretty heavy rainfall. Rather unusual to be talking about tropical influences in the desert southwest of the U.S., but it does happen. Looking at Africa, things are kind of quiet here. There's a lot of moisture in association with the intertropical convergence zone, where the trade winds from the northern hemisphere butt up against the trades from the southern hemisphere, and you get that convergence going on. But I don't see any areas that stick out as large thunderstorm complexes. A lot of moisture here, as I mentioned, but nothing that really stands out. Some of the models trying to develop one of these waves as they come off and head westward over time. They're kind of hide and seek on that. The GFS and Euro were both kind of bullish the last few days, looking at something developing. The Hurricane Center has issued in their text product of the Tropical Weather Outlook the possibility of development from one of these systems beyond the 2-day time frame, but it looks like it's going to be delayed a little bit. Hard to understand what's really going on. That's beyond me. You know, we thought the hurricane season would be a lot busier by this late in August than it is. So we'll just keep waiting and watching, and who knows, if you keep waiting long enough, we'll be cutting turkey and celebrating Thanksgiving or something. I don't think we're going to go that long without a hurricane. That would be almost unprecedented. It's been a long time since there was just no hurricane activity at all in the Atlantic Basin. I can't even recall the last time that happened. We've come close in 1983. It was a very inactive year, but we had Hurricane Alicia that hit Houston, Texas as a Category 3. And of course, 1992, a very slow hurricane season, featured by the poster child of It Only Takes One, and that was Hurricane Andrew. So maybe there'll just be one big hurricane this year somewhere. We'll have to wait and see. Don't want to speculate too much, and we'll just go with what we know, and that is that things are quiet right now, with the exception of the remnants of Fernan down there in Mexico. But it looks like a quiet week ahead for mainland U.S. interests and the islands that surround us through the Atlantic Basin. All right? So there you go. You're up to date on things. Again, I'm Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com, my website. Always a privilege and an honor to do these videos for you on Hurricane Pro and HD. Hopefully you learned something from them. I'll be back with more info for you tomorrow.